Let's read some books. Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies by Carolyn Crimmy, illustrated by John Manders. Cruising the seven seas on a crickety old ship called the Salty Carrot sailed a wild, rowdy band of buccaneer bunnies. They were bad bunnies, all right. When pirates on other ships saw their long floppy ears and their fluffy white tails, they shook with fear. The captain of the Salty Carrot was Barnacle Blackear, the baddest bunny brute of all time. Blackear was proud of his wooden paw, his golden earrings, and his mean reputation. What Blackear was not proud of was his son, Henry. Instead of performing his proper pirating duties, Henry was more interested in reading the books the buccaneers stole from other ships. "Shout, shiver me timbers!" Blackear ordered. "I'd rather finish this chapter," said Henry. "Make this prisoner walk the plank." "Can't I just read about it?" asked Henry. "Find yourself a parrot for your shoulder." "First I need to read up on parrot care," said Henry. "Buccaneer bunnies don't need books," said Blackear. "Toss them overboard," he yelled to the other bunnies. "No, wait," cried Henry. "Let me just finish them first." "Avast!" cried Blackear. "Swab the decks until ye come to your senses." And so Henry swabbed the decks day after day while reading some of his favorite books, like Robinson Crusoe and 30 Days to Longer Ears. "Bet you can't learn how to do this from a book," Jean Lahair said with sharpening his hook. Henry sighed and turned the page. "You'll never find booty like this in a book," Calico Jack Rabbit told him, holding up his stolen loot. Henry shrugged and turned the page. "Can't do this with a book in your paw," Bartholomew Bunny said while sanding his peg leg. Henry just turned another page. As much as he loved his books, Henry was a lonely buccaneer bunny, if there ever was one. Then one morning he looked up at the red sky and wriggled his little pink nose. He heard the parrot squawk and saw fish jumping out of the water. "If my books on meteorology are correct, those signs mean a big storm is heading this way," he thought. Henry tried telling Jean Lahair about the upcoming storm. "Excuse me, but I believe a storm is coming," Henry said. But Jean was too busy polishing his pieces of 8. "Go back to your books, Henry." He tried telling Calico Jack Rabbit. "I'm pretty sure a storm is on its way," Henry said. But Calico Jack was too busy admiring his tattoo of a cabbage. "Don't bother me now, Henry." Finally, Henry cried, "Batten down the hatches, a huge storm is coming." "What do you know about storms?" Blackear demanded. "Get back to swabbing the deck before I make shark bait out of all those books of yours." Henry did as he was told, but he kept his little pink eyes on the skies. When he saw the rats abandoning ship, he started packing up his books in empty treasure chests. The storm started small, a few low grumbles of thunder, a spike of lightning. Then suddenly a crashing, bashing, thrashing wildcat of a hurricane broke loose. It shook the ship. "Suffering sea dogs!" It mangled the masts. "Great blimey bilges!" It slashed the sails, damaged the deck, and ripped up the rickety old Salty Carrot. All that was left floating on the choppy waters were a bunch of soggy bunnies and Henry's treasure chest filled with books. When the storm finally calmed down, Blackear, Henry, and the rest of the Buccaneers paddled to the nearest island. "We're ruined," wailed Blackear. "No ship, no pieces of eight, no gems." He sat in the sand and blubbered like a lily-livered landlubber. But Henry got to work. The first thing he did was build a 2-story hut out of palm fronds and coconuts. "How did he learn to do that?" asked Blackear. "I read it in 101 Things to Do with Palm Fronds and Coconuts," replied Henry. Next he built a fire and cooked up a tasty seaweed stew. "Blimey," said the hungry bunnies. "Where did he learn to do that?" "I found the recipe in Quick and Easy Meals for the Maroon Pirates," said Henry. Then he made them all fetching garments from the bits and pieces he had salvaged from the shipwreck. "We look like gentlebunnys, we do. What swank swashbucklers we are!" And it's all from them landlubbin books," said Blackear, shaking his head. Henry taught Blackear and the Buccaneer bunnies all kinds of useful things, like how to plant carrots, make the best sandcastles, and build boats out of palm fronds. Soon they built a new ship, which they sailed to the library at the nearby Easter Islands every summer. Here the bunnies spent many happy hours slurping seaweed stew and reading books. "Aye, Buccaneer bunnies will always need books," said Blackear. Henry just smiled and turned the page. The end. Thanks for watching, friends.
This is my favorite tree book. Mine too.
And now a compilation of Tree's Adventure, Making New Friends, for you to watch. Tree's Adventure, Making New Friends by Kristin Montgomery Small. Corinne and Pamela were new friends. They talked about the time they met when traveling. Tree was listening. "I have been standing here forever. I want to make new friends." Tree pulled his roots right out of the ground. "Here are some boots, and just my size." Tree stood up tall, looked all around, and saw a sign with an arrow that read, "New friends this way." Tree decided to bring along a first aid satchel. "It is smart to travel prepared," he thought. Tree went down the dirt path and shortly came upon a barn. "I'm Tree. I am traveling to make new friends." The barn animals looked at Tree and stared. They had never seen a walking, talking tree. The barrel toppled over and Tree tumbled out. Al was the first to see that Tree had broken his arm on his way to make new friends. A visitor named Horse, who had been eating grass nearby, and later and darker, and soon it would be night time. Horse wanted to help Tree find a resting place. They ran and they ran and they ran until they could run no more. They were down in the grass together and fell fast asleep under the stars and full moon. You can purchase this book, Tree's Adventure, Making New Friends, by Kristin Montgomery Small at Amazon or CreateSpace. Thanks, friends. Subscribe, thumbs up, support your local readers.
I wonder what's up next.